In this video, we'll look at the Spellweaver and her interesting abilities, as well as how to infuse the environment with different elements to help with your spellcasting, here on Legendary Tactics. So today we meet the Spellweaver, and Spellweaver is a powerful but fragile magic wielder, and that's typical of most fantasy games where the magic user is typically the most physically frail of your troop. And what this mission is going to teach you is about using the elements that are infused into the battlefield. So on the right of the screen, you can see the which magic elements are available for consuming. When an element gets infused by actions of a character, by cards they play, the element is infused for basically 2 turns, and so after 2 turns it will disappear. So you got to use it while you can, and make sure you take that into account with your actions. So we're going to consume the ice element to augment the Freezing Nova's attack and get after as many of these bandits as possible, and then we're going to jump and escape. Okay, so you can see here the ice element is here. It's strong, which means it would last two rounds if we didn't use it. Freezing Nova has it's an attack 2. It happens to target all adjacent enemies and immobilize them, which is pretty good. That's exactly what we need since we're completely surrounded. And then Ride the Wind has the jump maneuver. So we will choose Freezing Nova and Ride the Wind, and we get to go first. Okay, so we're going to go here. We're going to click on the consuming the ice to add 1 to the attack. So that's going to do a lot of damage, and we're going to blast them with the Freezing Nova. That takes them down a fair bit, and then we're gonna jump and move the heck out of there. I don't think we can move any further in this limited space. So now, as we did that created the air element, and as it says here, by consuming the ice element, Freezing Nova dealt 3 base damage instead of 2. Knocking out 3 bandits and applying the immobilize condition. Sorry. So Ride the Wind, as I mentioned, infused the air element, and so it's that's something that we can potentially use on another card. With only 3 unburnt cards remaining, the Spellweaver will be exhausted after the next round is over. So basically we're down to our last few cards, and that's a neat mechanic with Gloomhaven, is that in order to they don't track exhaustion or characters getting worn out with a traditional kind of counter on a track or something like that. They just, as you play through your deck, you're using less and less cards available until eventually you're exhausted and you have to end the mission. Now in this case, fortunately, the Spellweaver is a very powerful trick up her sleeve. Many of her powerful cards may burn after usage, but the top half of Reviving Ether allows her to return all of her burn cards to her hand. So getting the timing right on this one-time recovery per scenario of all burned cards is very key to the Spellweaver. So we're going to finish off the Bandit Guards here, and so we need to use the let's see here. We're going to use we've got the Reviving Ether here. So we'll bring that back with a short rest. And we'll burn up the Freezing Nova, I guess. And we're going to make sure we use the Reviving Ether. Get back all of our cards, all of our burned cards. Now again, that's one-time use, but that's pretty handy. And what we'll do is we'll just attack this guy within range. And that buys us a bit of time as well. just in case they come after me. And they do, but they're out of range, so he can get as frustrated as he wants to. And we have a dark element as well in the environment. So yeah, the air was weak, so it ended up fading away. So now we need to find a really good thing here. I think fire orbs looks good, so we'll do mana bolt and fire orbs, and that should allow us to just finish them off very quickly here. So we'll pick those two targets and blast them. And there we go. So we finished off the bandits, and we got lots of loot now to pick up. I'm going to select our self for the healing here. I guess it doesn't really matter. I was going to go grab some loot, but I clicked on the wrong thing. So we're in good shape. And so that's the Spellweaver, and it's pretty interesting. I mean, it's always neat to see how the different characters have different flavors and just how they play and what special abilities they have. It really gives this game in a very straightforward, simple way. It gives the game a lot of an amazing sense of feel. Like each character feels different, and it's handled so elegantly. So anyway, hope this little scenario gave you a bit of an idea on how the Spellweaver works, and a couple of things on how the infused elements works in the game as well. If you enjoyed this video, please take some time to like and subscribe down below, and join us next time here on Legendary Tactics.